Welcome to this explainer. Seriously, I am so glad you're joining me today because we are tackling something absolutely fascinating: how diverse societies actually, function. We're going to dive deep into cultural identity, starting way down at the individual level, and then zoom all the way out to see how massive, complex nations manage to keep the peace. It's literally a journey from the micro to the macro. Let's get right into it.
Okay, so here is our roadmap for today. We'll kick things off with everyday individual customs, then zoom out to massive multicultural giants like India and the USA, and finally wrap up with the philosophy of building national harmony.
All right, Section 1, Customs and Cultural Identity. Everyday culture from birth to death.
To truly understand a whole nation, you first have to look at the individual. Culture isn't just something that happens during big holiday parades. It actually dictates the daily rhythm of our lives. Just take Christian and Catholic customs, for example. The journey starts right at the beginning with baptizing a child, establishing them as a child of God. Then you've got major life milestones like engagements and weddings being celebrated in the church. At the end of life, funerals and burials are handled with deep tradition. But honestly, it's also those everyday habits, like taking a quick, quiet moment to venerate God before an important task. These daily rituals, they firmly anchor an individual's cultural identity.
And we see this exact same concept playing out brilliantly across all different communities. If we look at Islamic culture, whether it's a local gathering at a mosque or experiencing the sheer, unbelievable scale of the Kaaba in Mecca, the principle is exactly the same. The culture shapes literally everything from birth all the way through to everyday activities.
In fact, the whole year is structured around these deep customs. For Muslim communities globally, there are three main festivals that really anchor their identity. First, there's Milad an-Nabi, where folks give alms to the poor to commemorate the birth of Muhammad Nabi. Then you've got the incredible dedication of Ramadan, or Eid al-Fitr, which means continuously fasting from dawn to dusk for 30 whole days. And finally, Hajj, the holy pilgrimage to Mecca. Even folks who can't make the long journey participate by visiting their local masjids for prayers. These shared customs are the absolute glue of identity.
Moving right along to Section 2, Multiculturalism in India. Cooperation in a diverse nation.
So, now that we know how deeply ingrained these individual cultures are, what happens when you put dozens of them inside one single border? Well, India is an outstanding, truly unique example of this. Despite the vast geography and a massive population, the Indian people have this incredibly strong history of cooperation. Actually, historical influence from belief systems like Buddhism is often pointed out as a big reason for this deeply rooted spirit of working together.
To really wrap your head around the scale of India's diversity, you just have to look at the demographics. Honestly, it's mind-boggling. You've got a huge array of religions coexisting: Hinduism, Catholicism, Islam, Buddhism, Shaivism. Then look at the languages: Hindi, Urdu, Tamil, English, Marathi, Malayalam, Punjabi, Telugu, Gujarati, Kannada, Sanskrit. It's incredible. And the races: Tamil, Urdu, Bengali, Muslim, Banjara, Chakma, Marathi, and Munda. It is like a brilliant, complex, giant puzzle of human existence all operating within one national boundary.
All right, Section 3, Diversity in the USA, a global multicultural society.
Let's look at another massive case study to see how this builds in a totally different context. The multiculturalism of the United States comes from a completely different starting point than India's. The USA has historically been this huge destination for global migration. So you have people from vastly different backgrounds who had to work collectively, right from the ground up, to build a powerful nation.
And because of that, the resulting fabric of America is just incredibly complex. The linguistic mix alone is staggering. You have English and Spanish sitting right alongside Samoan, Cameroonian, and Vietnamese. The religious and ethnic mix is just as vast. Protestants, Roman Catholics, Muslims, Buddhists, Jewish communities, along with white, Black, Asian, Red Indian, Alaskan, Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander ethnic groups. It is literally a global society housed within 50 states.
Now, what's really fascinating here is comparing the specific mechanics these two giants use to maintain harmony. India, for instance, focuses on treating all its groups equally and uses both English and Hindi as official languages, though it has to navigate regional pushback, like Tamil Nadu rejecting Hindi. Plus, they uniquely require citizens to know another language beyond the official ones, while strictly safeguarding the freedom to follow your own religion. The USA, on the flip side, strictly separates church and state. It recognizes absolutely no state religion at all. Both nations grant equal rights for all citizens, but their frameworks for managing their populations are distinctly customized to their own unique histories.
This brings us to Section 4, Safeguarding Cultural Identity. Creating a national culture.
So let's talk about the underlying philosophy here. How do nations actually balance the need for groups to protect their unique cultures while still building a unified, cohesive country? Think of a place like Sri Lanka. The idea is that a national culture isn't a replacement for individual cultures, not at all. It's actually the aggregate of all of them. Whether you're looking at the Sinhala, Tamil, Muslim, Buddhist, Christian, or Hindu communities, the national identity is built by adding all these diverse groups together, not erasing them.
The whole thing relies on balancing two core concepts: cultural identity and national harmony. Cultural identity is basically your birthright. It's the unique culture every group tries to safeguard and pass down to the next generation. But national harmony only happens when every single group actively respects those other cultures and works together. The logic is crystal clear. A country only achieves sustainable peace when mutual trust replaces suspicion. You absolutely have a duty to protect your own identity, but you must never harm or disrespect someone else's.
This sentiment is so vital that you'll often find it woven right into a country's national symbols. Take this incredibly powerful excerpt from the Sri Lankan national anthem. Ika mawake darukela bhavina, yamu yamu we no pama. This translates to viewing each other as children of one mother, moving forward together without delay. It just perfectly encapsulates that vital duty of reconciliation, looking past our divisions to build a shared future.
Finally, Section 5, Building National Harmony. The advantages of sustainable peace.
So besides just being a really nice, noble philosophy, what are the actual tangible benefits societies reap when they get this balance right? Well, first off, when mutual trust is built, conflicts drop drastically. But it goes way beyond just avoiding fights. National harmony directly drives prosperity. When you remove suspicion, people engage in highly productive economic activities. Everyone contributes to the country's development, and citizens fulfill their duties because they actually feel respected. True sustainable peace isn't just an ideal, it is the absolute engine for a nation's development and long-term stability.
Achieving this level of harmony takes conscious effort from every single citizen, starting right from childhood. So the question I want to leave you with today is this: how will you balance your own rich cultural identity with the vital need to respect others? How will you actively work to ignore divisions and build sustainable peace in your own community? It is a profound challenge for sure, but as we've seen today, it's really the only way forward. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.